Hello and welcome to the NHL Best Bets. Last night there were another outdoor game on the beach of Lake Tahoe, and that was of course interesting game. But before we go through the Boston-Philadelphia game, we show a few picks that we made day before, and here you can see that we had a Winnipeg to win Vancouver. It was a coin flip, but over time Winnipeg took a 4-3 victory, and pick was correct. Quite even game, but Winnipeg started to play a bit better in later part of the game, and they had a chances to seal it during the regular time, but it took a handful of seconds in overtime to win it. Then Montreal, Ottawa, under 6, another correct pick. That was also overtime game when Ottawa was winning. It won 3-2, so only 4 goals during the regular season, clearly under. And in this game, Ottawa was a much better team in third period and really deserved the win. Tommy, how do you saw these games?
Yeah, like you said, it's funny how sometimes these simulations are exactly as the reality is. So this seemed to be the case in Vancouver. Winnipeg, a little bit better team. In this case, of course, Pierre-Luc Dubois came now into the lineup and scored 2 goals, including the game winner. So a little bit more preferred bet would have been Winnipeg, as well as we were predicting them, but it's good that they won the coin flip this time around. These have been going wrong way quite many times, but otherwise really even game. But always when you get a better team with plus something, even if it is just plus 100, it's a good pick. So very happy with this one. A bad start for Winnipeg on the road, but they came back to win the game. So a good win for the Jets. And then in Ottawa, like we were saying, that Ottawa is a feisty team and gritty team, especially against their longtime rivals, Montreal. So Montreal returning to their level that we predicted, losing this game. It was first period was Ottawa's, second period maybe Montreal's, and then Ottawa in the end a better team as well. So very close match as well over time, but clearly an under. As it was, it didn't seem to go over at any point. Neither team got a lot of chances. Both goaltenders played really well, so a clear under pick there. So very happy with these green selections that we got this time.
Yeah, I think there were a few, let's say, funny goals in Montreal-Ottawa game. Goalies didn't know where the puck is, and then it was in the goal. But how about our simulation generally during yesterday's game? We had some side values there in these different matchups.
Yeah, so to go to the outdoor game, that's what we were talking about, that it's a very peculiar situation for both teams and pretty hard to predict what's going to happen. Boston, a better team. Philadelphia had a lot of players out because of a COVID protocol and some other injuries, so they were missing 6 starters from their lineup. Difficult place to start this outdoor journey. And Boston then took the game. The early on that game was pretty even, but then in the end Boston took the easy win. It was 7-3, I think the final score, and hard to say how much of that was actually the Boston was better team and how much was it just jitters from the outdoor game, because these are so peculiar situations. So that was a game that we did have Philadelphia not as favorites but close to it, so should have been a lot more even game according to the simulations, but yeah, well, that's how it went this time. And New Jersey Washington was another game that we missed in our side value. New Jersey was supposed to fight back against the Capitals team, but Capitals came from behind once again. Now they got some power play goals from their top line, and they in the end they won the game 4-3 after Alex Ovechkin finished the game off with a first goal in 15 shots. which is unheard of from this caliber of players. But yeah, so overall a good night for us. We got side value from Ottawa and that Winnipeg game. So overall plus something, and also over-unders were 3 out of 4. So profitable night. Very happy with that.
That's always a good case when you make money from your bets, and that's why we are here. One note for the outdoor game, I think easiest thing to predict was that when sun is not shining, ice is a bit better, so that NHL took a good advice from people who maybe have seen sun shining before it, and now the ice was good for the hockey.
Yeah, you could actually pass the puck along the ice, so it looked like ice hockey this time around.
Yep. Then games continue. So tonight we have 8 games. There are some games that have moved back and forth, but good amount of games here. We have made again a few excellent picks. If we go here, Dallas continues their season in Florida. They had some issues with the weather, so this first game in about a week, Florida has played reasonably well, except lost in Detroit 1-2 in last game. Both teams have been quite offensive, Florida especially, and over 5.5 goals with odds minus 118 looks to be a good bet. Simulations predict over 60% probability for over in this game. Then heavyweights in West, Vegas continues to play against Colorado. Now in Colorado after the Lake Tahoe trip, and Colorado was clearly better team in last game. They were also better team in previous matchup before the outdoor game. So minus 130 is a good value bet for the home team in this game.
Yeah, good picks, both of these. Florida, of course, one of the better offensive teams in the league. They've scored a lot of goals, 56 goals in 16 games. So very heavy offensive. And like we saw last time when they played Detroit, if they can't score, they will lose these games. So their defense is not that good, and their goaltending has been shaky at best. Bobrovsky not maybe worth his money at the moment. He is a better goaltender than what we've seen from him, but let's see if he starts or if it is Chris Drieger who's actually played a little bit better. But at this moment, it seems that Bobrovsky is starting. Dallas then returning from their small break because of the weather in Texas. They've also played quite heavily scored games. Their goaltending is not that good. Their defense is more offensive than defensive. So they are able to score goals, and especially after this break, I think they do have some energy. They will match with the offense of Florida, and I'm expecting a lot of goals in this game. Also, Khudobin in Dallas net, if he plays, hasn't been as good as he was in the playoffs last season. So another small issue there, but might be something to consider, that it's going to be a heavy scoring game. And then going to Colorado after the Lake Tahoe trip, these two teams, of course, again, a weird situation in there. The game postponed. The players had to wait for a couple of hours between the periods. So something that doesn't happen. So a little bit of a different approach to this game probably than usual. Colorado gets to play at home. Helps a lot of this team after coming from outdoors. A better team in a couple of the last games these two teams have met. So a clear pick from us. About 60% of simulations go to Colorado, even if Vegas is a competitive team. But I think here Colorado has a clear advantage because of the situation, and also they are a little bit better team, especially now they've found a lot of scoring from the bottom six and from the middle six, not only the top line of these great superstars they have.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to see how Vegas is bouncing back, because they clearly were outperformed in the outdoor game, and Also, the high-low of Marc-Andre Fleury is maybe diminishing a bit because he has been one of the main reasons why these games have been so even with Colorado. And he's, like we've discussed in the past, not getting any younger, so there needs to be some support from the either Robin Lehner or some third-string goalie if Lehner is not fit to play. But we have also some other games that have some value for home teams, like Colorado has, but the odds are not very great. In other Western game, Los Angeles goes to St. Louis. Kings have played very well recently, but St. Louis is clear favorite, both bookmakers and our simulations. Then two teams that haven't played so great recently, Anaheim and Arizona. Again, home team is favorite here, but do you see any value to bet on these games?
The home favorites, like we've seen in the past, are not always the best bets, especially with these quite low odds. But we do have Arizona for about 6% side value there. The odds are minus 157, and that would translate into percentages of 59. And the simulations have 65% for Arizona against Anaheim team that was really bad against those games, in those games against Minnesota. So that's probably why Arizona is favored so much. But Arizona also a little bit shaky team, so maybe not the clearest of favorites in reality. Like on the other hand, then you would have St. Louis facing Los Angeles Kings. 68% of simulations go to the home team. Like you said, Los Angeles Kings played better recently. St. Louis clear favorites still because of their definitely better roster, but again, small value, 8% here, 60% odds and 68% in the simulations, but the odds are at minus 173. So again, these sort of odds that we're not gonna pick, but there is value if you like these home favorites. And the similar situation is in Toronto as well against Calgary. Toronto, of course, now found their attacking prowess that we've been expecting. They're scoring a lot of goals. Calgary struggling a lot. Very much similar numbers here as it is in St. Louis. So we have Toronto about 67% and the odds are around 60%. So similar sort of thing, but odds are minus 170 for the home team. So if you like these lower odds but clear favorites, then these are your picks.
How about then if we think about home underdogs? Usually that's the best way to bet when you find a good value there. In East Conference, there is this matchup between Carolina and Tampa, maybe two top teams in the East, except Boston after last night's performance may be involved in that discussion as well. But Carolina won very convincingly 4-0 against Tampa last game a few nights ago. Now odds are for Tampa, but our simulations show much closer game. How do you see that one?
Yeah, it's an even matchup, and like we were emphasizing last time around, probably two of the best teams, especially in this division, Tampa and Carolina. Carolina took 4-0 win, something that Tampa Bay is not used to losing 2 games in a row. They lost previously to Florida, so now Tampa Bay is on the verge of bouncing back, and this is a scary team when they get their game going and they are motivated to beat Carolina this time around. The simulations do have Carolina at 49% and Tampa Bay at 51%, while the odds are plus 120 for Carolina. So there is small value in the home underdog, in this case about 4%, but it's going to be a very close game, and I think that Tampa Bay might be in for a win this time around because of they are going to be a bit angry about their 4-0 loss last time around.
Yeah, I think this is one of the highlights of tonight, definitely. And like I said, many other good games as well. We'll come back tomorrow and check also a little bit how our picks have been proceeding during the last week. So we'll catch up then again.
See you tomorrow.